The storm had claws, and it tore at the marina with a vengeance. Rain lashed the docks of Cresthaven Harbor, and the wind howled like a banshee, rattling the rigging of boats tethered to their slips. Lightning cracked the sky, illuminating a figure sprinting along the pier, coat flapping wildly, flashlight beam cutting through the deluge. That figure was me, Elliot Kanan. My heart pounded louder than the thunder. My boat, the Sea Whisper, my sanctuary, was out there, and something was wrong. Terribly wrong. I'd woken to a gut-twisting premonition, a sailor's instinct honed by years on the water, and now, as I skidded to a halt at my slip, the sight before me confirmed my worst fears. The Sea Whisper sat low, unnaturally low, her stern kissing the waves in a way that screamed sabotage. The wooden planks groaned under my boots as I leaped aboard, water sloshing over the deck and soaking my jeans. My flashlight swept the cockpit, revealing a foot of seawater swirling around the seats. My pulse surged. This wasn't storm damagino broken lines, no shredded sails. The drain plug was secure, the hatches sealed. I dropped to my knees, prying open a floor panel with trembling hands. The beam of my light caught the glint of two perfect holes drilled through the hull, their edges raw and fresh, like wounds carved with malice. Someone had tried to sink my boat. My home. My freedom. Cresthaven was a postcard of a coastal town shingled cottages, lobster traps piled high, and a marina that sparkled under summer sun. But beneath the charm lurked a machine oiled by gossip, tradition, and the iron grip of the Cresthaven Homeowners Association. The HOA wasn't just a group of busybodies. It was a regime, wielding rules like a cudgel. Since I'd bought my slip 3 years ago, I'd been at their mercy. They dictated the shade of my cottage's shutters, eggshell, not cream, the height of my garden fence for feet, not 5, and most gallingly, what I could do with my own damn boat. I'd installed a compact radar system to track whether a practical choice for a solo sailor, but the HOA called it an aesthetic violation. Letters turned to fines, fines to threats, and now, it seemed, threats to outright sabotage. I patched the holes with marine epoxy, my hands shaking with rage and adrenaline, and rigged a bilge pump to suck out the water. The Sea Whisper would live, but I wouldn't let this slide. I snapped photos of the holes, the scuffed deck, the unfamiliar boot prints smudged in the grime. Evy Denke. I need it. As dawn broke, gray and heavy, I spotted a familiar figure, Sam Carver, a grizzled liveaboard who kept his catch 2 slips down. He tipped his cap, concern etching his weathered face. Trouble, Elliot? Someone drilled holes in my hull, I said, voice raw. Try to sink her. Sam's eyes widened. That's no prank. That's a crime. You call Marina control yet? Not yet, I admitted, wiping rain from my face. But I will. He stepped closer, voice low. Watch your back. Things been off around here. You ain't the first to have trouble. I wanted to press him, but my phone buzzed with a text from Marina Control's manager, Tessa Reyes. She'd heard about the incident. Small towns talk fast and was on her way. Tessa was a no-nonsense woman, her dark hair always pulled tight, her clipboard a permanent extension of her arm. When she arrived, she surveyed the damage with a frown. Holes, huh? She muttered, crouching by the patched hull. This is deliberate. I'll check the security feeds, but the camera on this pier's been glitchy. New one's not installed yet. Convenient, I said, my suspicion flaring. The HOA had their fingers in everything, including marina operations. Was it a stretch to think they'd tampered with the cameras too? Tessa's eyes met mine, wary. Don't jump to conclusions, Elliot. But I'll dig. You file a police report yet? Next on my list, I said, though I knew Cresthaven's tiny police force wasn't exactly the FBI. Still, I called in, and by noon, Officer Jenna Holt was jotting notes while her partner photographed the scene. Jenna was a local, born and raised, with a sharp mind dulled by years of breaking up bar fights and ticketing tourists. We'll look into it, she promised, but her tone carried the weight of skepticism. No witnesses, no clear suspects, just my word and a couple of holes. That night, I couldn't sleep. My cottage felt too small, the walls pressing in as I replayed the day. The Sea Whisper was more than a boat. She was my lifeline. After my wife left 5 years ago, taking half my heart and most of my SAVYNGS, I poured everything into that cruiser. Teaching history at the community college paid the bills, but the water was where I lived. Someone tried to take that from me, and my money was on the HOA. Their latest crusade was against my radar system, claiming it disrupted the marina's cohesive look. I'd fought back politely at first, then with sharper words at their last meeting. Had I pushed too far? By morning, I was done playing nice. I typed a letter to the HOA board, demanding they investigate the sabotage and cover my repair costs. I hinted at legal action, my fingers pounding the keys with years of pent-up frustration. Cresthaven's HOA was led by Vi VY and Caldwell, a woman whose smile was as sharp as a switchblade. At 50, she ruled the board like a queen, her manicured nails tapping out orders while her eyes cataloged your every flaw. She'd been at my throat over the radar, her letters dripping with condescension. "Compliance ensures harmony, Mr. Kane," she'd written. Harmony my ass. 2 days later, I got a response, not an apology, but a violation notice. My radar system, they claimed, breached marina regulations. Remove it within a week, or face fines and potential slip termination. The audacity floored me. They tried to sink my boat, and now they were doubling down. I needed help, someone who could fight their bureaucracy with more than stubbornness. My friend Leah, a retired paralegal, pointed me to Marcus Tate, a maritime lawyer with a reputation for shredding overzealous HOAs. Marcus's office was a fortress of oak and leather, his desk piled with nautical charts and legal briefs. He was a bear of a man, late 40s, with a handshake that could crush walnuts. "They're playing dirty," he said after I laid out the story. "Sabotage is a felony, but HOAs like this thrive on intimidation. We need proof tying them to the act. Got any leads?" Tessa mentioned a busted camera, I said, and Sam Carver hinted at other incident-stampered moorings / tires. Nothing concrete, but it's a pattern. Marcus leaned back, stroking his beard. Cresthaven's marina is on a county lease. The HOA manages it, but they're bound by terms safety, fairness, no criminal crap. If we prove misconduct, the county can yank their authority. Big blow to their ego and their wallet. "I want them to pay for the damage," I said, "and I want them stopped. They're bullies, Marcus. Not just to me." He grinned, a glint in his eye. "Then let's go to war. Keep documenting everything, letters, conversations, weird VY Bess. I'll pull marina records and check for other complaints." War it was. I started sleeping on the Sea Whisper, even though she was hauled out for repairs. The boatyard had her propped on blocks, and I set up a cot in the cabin, a flashlight and a crowbar within reach. Call it paranoia, but I didn't trust the HOA to stop at one attack. One night, as fog rolled in thick as chowder, I heard footsteps on the gravel lot. My pulse spiked. Grabbing the flashlight, I slipped outside, MOVYing low between the rows of dry dock boats. A shadow darted near the chain-link fence, too quick to identify. I gave chase, my beam catching a glimpse of a lean figure in a hooded jacket, a tattoo curling above the collar. Then he was gone, swallowed by the mist. I reported it to Tessa, who tightened night patrols, but admitted the marina's security was stretched thin. "Some of my guys are cozy with the HOA," she confided. "I don't like it, but I can't fire them without cause." Marcus, meanwhile, dug up gold. The county lease had a clause. Any willful misconduct by the HOA could void their marina oversight. Better yet, he found complaints from other boaters' fines for minor infractions, threats to seize slips, even a case where a yacht's fuel line was cut. "They're sloppy," Marcus said. "Overconfident. We just need a smoking gun." That gun came sooner than expected. Tessa called me to her office, her face grim. "New camera went up last week, backup angle from the fuel dock. Caught something the night your boat was hit." She played the footage, grainy, but clear enough. A man, stocky, short hair, tattoo on his neck, crept toward my slip with a cordless drill. My fist clenched. "That's him. The guy I saw. Not on my staff," Tessa said. "But I ran the tape by a friend at the sheriff's office." They're pulling DMV records for a match. Marcus pounced. He filed a motion to freeze HOA actions at the marina, citing sabotage and mismanagement. He also subpoenaed VVY's phone records, suspecting she'd hired the tattooed thug. The HOA pushed back, scheduling an emergency meeting to ram through new rules, tighter access, random inspections, more fines. It was a desperate move to lock down control before we could expose them. The meeting was held in the community center, a squat building smelling of coffee and mildew. VVY presided, her red lipstick a slash against her pale face. "We're here to protect our marina," she said, voice honeyed venom. "Recent vandalism likely outsiders demands action." I stood, cutting her off. Vandalism, like the holes in my boat? Or the fuel line cut on Bob Grayson's yacht? Funny how these outsiders only hit people who cross the HOA. The room buzzed. VVY and smile faltered. "Mr. Kane, accusations without proof are reckless." Marcus handed me a folder. "Oh, I've got proof," I said, raising my voice. "We filed with the county to halt your new rules. We've got video of a man drilling my hull, and phone records linking him to this board. Want to explain that?" VVY. Chaos erupted. Boaters shouted questions. Board members squirmed. VVY pounded her gavel, adjourning the meeting in a huff. Outside, Marcus clapped my shoulder. "They're rattled. Now we keep the pressure on." The pressure paid off. A week later, Tessa's sheriff friend ID'd the saboteur, Derek Walsh, a local handyman with a rap sheet for petty theft. His neck tattoo, a coiled snake, matched the footage. Better yet, VVY's phone had called Walsh's burner 3 times before the attack. Marcus presented it to the county, along with affida VYTS from Sam and other boaters. The county scheduled a hearing, and I braced for battle. The courthouse was cold, its pews hard as stone. Judge Claring Wynn, a hawk-eyed woman with a reputation for fairness, heard our case. Marcus called Tessa, Sam, and me to testify. I described finding the holes, my voice steady now, fueled by resolve. "They targeted me because I wouldn't bow," I said. "If they'll sink my boat, what's next?" VVY's lawyers fought dirty, painting me as a troublemaker, Walsh as a lone actor. But Marcus was relentless, presenting the video, the phone records, and a new bombshell, an email from VVY to a board member, hinting at removing problem tenants by any means. The judge's pen scratched furiously. After a grueling day, Gwyn ruled. "The EVY Denke suggests misconduct by the Cresthaven HOA," she said. "I'm freezing their marina authority pending a full investigation. Mr. Kane's docking rights are secure, and law enforcement will pursue criminal charges against any implicated parties." The marina erupted in relief. Boaters slapped my back, and Tessa grinned for the first time in weeks. VVY was arrested days later, charged with conspiracy. Her board collapsed, half resigning, the rest scrambling to distance themselves. The county took over the marina, promising fair rules and no vendettas. When the sea whisper slid back into the water, I stood at her helm, the horizon wide and open. Sam and Leah cheered from the dock as I eased her into the slip, her hull gleaming, scars and all. "You did it, Elliot," Sam called. "Saved us all." I smiled, the salt air filling my lungs. I'd fought for my boat, my peace, and one more than I'd expected, a community unbound, a harbor free. As I steered toward the open sea, the patched hull hummed beneath me, a reminder that even the deepest wounds can heal stronger. The storm had passed, and the dawn was mine. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.